The cost of living has moved to a whole new level as people search for greener pastures in more developed cities. These cities are definitely beautiful places. However, living in some cities can be rather pricey for the average Joe. Places like London, Zurich, and Paris are the types of cities we're talking about. Costs to live in these cities can start from thousands of dollars just for a tiny one-bedroom apartment. However, the benefit is you're close to everything the city has to offer, and there tends to be more opportunity for work and business. In this video, we'll be looking at the 5 most expensive cities in the world. Funnily enough, London doesn't actually make the cut, but be sure to watch this video to the end, as the city on the top spot might just surprise you. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Number 5. Hong Kong, China. Hong Kong is the 5th most expensive city in the world to live in, majorly because of its high housing costs. It's well known across the world, and this obviously causes many people to visit as tourists or choose to call the city home. High population increases housing costs, and this has been exactly the case in Hong Kong. Recently, Hong Kong was ranked the most expensive housing market in the world for the 7th time in a row, and this is simply a case of high demand and low supply. With over 7 million residents spread across 1,106 square kilometers, there just isn't enough land to satisfy everyone. Hence, housing is pricey. There is also very little developable land left in Hong Kong, as livable land is squeezed between bodies of water and soaring mountains. However, whatever land can be developed is controlled by the government. It is safe to say that the government makes a majority of its income from selling land. As such, land is sold at record prices, and after they are developed into apartments and rental spaces, they cost even more. Fortunately, Hong Kong is one of the most tax-friendly economies in the world. The reason taxes are so low is that a large chunk of the government's revenue comes from land sales. Aside from sparse land, Hong Kong has few natural resources and imports most of its food and raw materials. More than 90% of Hong Kong's food is imported, including meat and rice. Meanwhile, tourism is a major part of their economy, with millions of tourists trooping in every year. It is the most popular Chinese city for tourists, with its beautiful culture, cuisine, music, skyscrapers, and recreational facilities. We can see why Hong Kong is expensive. Number 4. Zurich, Switzerland. Zurich in Switzerland has been ranked number 4 most expensive city in the world, and the most expensive in Europe. We're not surprised considering it's in Switzerland, a land of high life qualities. However, despite Zurich's high cost of living, it remains an attractive destination for foreigners. Zurich is said to have the highest cost of meals at inexpensive restaurants, fitness clubs, imported beer, and taxis. Luckily, salaries in Zurich are amongst the highest in Switzerland and the world. But what isn't expensive in Zurich? From groceries to rent, clothing, restaurants, entertainment, public transportation, and health insurance. However, the high quality of life has been praised as a reason for economic growth in Zurich. Meanwhile, the cost of education is cheaper because most of the schools are state-owned. Taxes are also lower as well. Zurich's rich culture also attracts tourists with its high-quality museums, galleries, theatres, and symphony orchestra. It's also known to have a vibrant nightlife. With nearly a quarter of Zurich's residents who work in banks or investment firms, it's no wonder the city is so expensive. However, experts have said that the actual living costs will depend on each person's living situation, the costs of health insurance, and personal lifestyle. Number 3. Singapore. Singapore is a small city-state that has bagged several accolades for itself. Before it became the 3rd most expensive city in the world, it was named the world's most expensive city for 6 years. And this says a lot, as Singapore is just a tiny red dot on the world map. So, what makes this city so expensive? Over the years, there has been strong economic growth, and this has affected the cost of living. As such, the prices of things have risen due to inflation. One reason this city is so expensive is that land is incredibly scarce. With a land area of 728 kilometers and a population of 5.7 million, and growing, the use of land is critical. Since land is a very prized commodity, the demand for it is high and sadly, supply is low. This has caused property and rental prices to go up. Singapore also lacks natural resources, and this is why it's an expensive city. But what they lack in natural resources, they gain through their competitive advantage. They have a strategic location for their port, as it connects the east-west trade. First, they have to import water from their Malaysian neighbours. Singapore needs about 430 gallons a day, but they're currently only able to receive 250 million gallons a day. This would definitely increase the price of water. Also, 95% of Singapore's electricity is imported from natural gas obtained from Malaysia and Indonesia. This would surely make the cost of electricity very pricey. The cost of owning a car too is said to be the highest in the world. Because of Singapore's small size, not so many people own a car, as it would cause congestion and there wouldn't be enough space to park. So, the government's solution was to limit private car ownership and also increase the cost of owning one. Plus, a car owner would still pay for other fees such as road tax, mandatory car insurance, servicing and maintenance costs, petrol, parking, and even road tolls. Singapore also has to import food because there's insufficient land for agriculture. This subjects them to various high prices from suppliers. Also, healthcare and education are quite expensive. Singapore is a beautiful city-state with one of the highest percentages of millionaires. They attract millions of tourists every year to their zoo, river wonders, and night safari. Number 2. Paris, France. Paris is the second most expensive city in the world. It is known to be one of the most romantic cities in the world, as many couples visit the Eiffel Tower, so of course it's expensive. As one of Europe's major centres, it is known for commerce, fashion, science, diplomacy, and arts. Every year, Paris receives millions of visitors who come to tour the romantic city. In 2020, Paris received 12.6 million visitors, and this was after a 73% drop due to COVID-19. Paris boasts great art, museums, theatres, literature, music, cinema, restaurants and cuisine, fashion, holidays and festivals. Paris has always been expensive, and it's driven by high real estate prices. For instance, the median price you can get at a 350 square foot studio is over $500,000. However, as much as things are expensive in Paris, the salaries are not so high. Hence, this then leaves Parisians with far less disposable income. Luckily, Paris has one of the highest concentrations of wealthy people in the world. As such, when there's a lot of wealthy people in the city, the average prices of goods go up. Experts say that the fashion industry is to blame for the city's thriving luxury. To remain competitive in the market, luxury designers have to come up with creative ways to keep customers buying. That is why the clothes in Paris are quite expensive. Paris is also known as a major hub for runways and high-class fashion shows. It's home for the rich. For many years now, Paris has been a city with expensive taste, and it seems it will remain so for a very long time. Number 1. Tel Aviv, Israel. Tel Aviv has taken the world a little by surprise by becoming the most expensive city in the world to live in. Tel Aviv has experienced a change so rapidly in its economy that it moved from the 5th most expensive city to the 1st this year, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit. Tel Aviv's sharp rise to the top spot is attributed to the increase in prices of groceries and transportation. The EIU pointed out that this was a result of the strength that the Israeli shekel had against the dollar. In fact, the EIU reported that the shekel has soared against the dollar due to Israel's successful COVID-19 vaccine rollout. Now, the fact that Tel Aviv is the most expensive city right now doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. This year, the inflation rate was the fastest recorded for the past 5 years. Its prices for goods and services had increased by 3.5% year-on-year in local currency, compared to 1.9% last year. But the question to ask is, has the income rate of citizens also risen to match the increased prices? Or are the poor getting poorer and the rich richer? Tel Aviv is a beautiful city that houses several stunning architectural styles. It is a major centre for culture and entertainment. When it comes to tourism and recreation, Tel Aviv is the place to be. It receives about 2.5 million international visitors annually, and it was ranked 5th most visited city in the Middle East and Africa. The city has been tagged the city that never sleeps and a party capital due to its vibrant nightlife, young atmosphere, and famous 24-hour culture. Tel Aviv has also been ranked as one of the top LGBT destinations for the world. For this reason, it was named the best gay city in the world. They boast branches of some of the world's top hotels, such as Sheraton, Hilton, Crown Plaza, and many others. As a bonus to this city, it has beaches that draw people from all over the world. Plus it has museums, architectural and cultural sites. Other cities on the list, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, are New York at number 7, Geneva in Switzerland, Copenhagen in Denmark, Los Angeles in the US, and Osaka in Japan. Which city do you live in? And do you have a favourite city from our list? Let us know in the comments section below. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel and press the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Goodbye, Lux Cats. Until next time.